Hi guys. So I'm going to go through the PowerPoint slides that we went through today in class, and you will now have time to stop, rewind, pause, move forward at your own pace. Hopefully you guys will appreciate the videos that I do for you, okay? Okay, so we talked about character interactions, and I'm really not going to do a lot of talking. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and allow you all to stop, pause, rewind, do whatever you need to do. All right. So, of course, this is what we're going to talk about today, or we discussed today in class. And we discussed that you're going to be connecting with the characters. We're going to connect with the characters by understanding the motivations, and we want to understand their conflicts. So, we discussed the main characters. The main characters are protagonists and antagonists. Every every story will have an antagonist. Every story will have an antagonist. Every story will have a protagonist. All right. We talked about subordinate characters. We said that those characters or these characters, they just add a little bit of depth and complication to the plot. And we know the plot is or plot is the events in the story. Okay. So we talked about flat characters, and we said that flat characters are just like a piece of cardboard, no depth. They only have one or two character traits, and they can be described in a few words. If I were to ask you to describe the hunter, you would have maybe one or two words to describe him. He is a flat character. A round character is human-like. They have many characteristics. They have different personalities. We get to see different sides of who they are. Dynamic characters, they grow. They're going to change. They're going to grow as a result of the story. They're going to go through these events, and we're going to see them change from the beginning, the middle, and the end. Dynamic plus round equals complex. So a dynamic character, a character that changes, plus a round character, a character that have multiple personalities, and not personalities, but not personalities, it's crazy, but we get to see the perplexity of that character as human. That equals a complex character. Dynamic characters will also learn about themselves, as would a complex character. They're going to learn about themselves or other people or the world. It is through the complex character, the dynamic characters, and the round characters that we get to learn our lessons. And we know the theme is the lesson of the story, the moral in the story, and a universal moral. The universal theme is what we are looking for when we're talking about the moral in the story. How can this apply to not just the students here at Craigmont, but a student that is in class in China or in Africa or Indonesia? All right, so a static character is a character that does not grow at all. They stay the same. They were the same at the beginning, they were the same way at the end. And most of the time, we will have subordinate characters. They will be static characters. There is no depth, no change. So, conflict. I know you guys are like, wait a minute, everybody, you just can't. We don't need that slide. So, we're talking about conflicts. We talked about internal conflicts, external conflicts. External conflicts is the struggle that a character has with outside forces. So, think about things that happen on the outside, things that the character cannot control. Character A cannot control character B. Character A cannot control the society. Character A cannot control nature. We also have a few other external examples that we will talk about a little bit more in class. So internal is the struggle within. The struggle within the character's emotions or needs or desires. internal within. It's the character versus himself or the character versus herself. We're going to skip that. All right. Motivation. Yes. I told y'all I can sing. So we're talking about motivation. We're talking about why the character do what the character does. Why did they do that? Why did they do that? So it's the reason why. It is what drives the character's actions. The motivation, it can explain the character's behaviors. It can reveal something about the character's personality. And a lot of times that motivation is oftentimes driven by the conflict, whether it be internal or external, or the fears, or the needs of that character. One of the motivations that we saw in our story is Phoenix Jackson was motivated to go on that journey because she was concerned about the health of her grandson. More specifically, he needed medicine. And she had to enter into the town to go and get the medicine that he needed. Motivation can be inferred by just simply watching the characters. We're going to observe the characters' behavior, their speech, their actions. All right, so we're at the end of this slide, and this is your homework for tonight. So you're going to read the new story. I don't have my book with me, but I want to say that it is on page 79 and 80. You're going to read it, you're going to annotate it, and you're going to go ahead and do this slide. Now, what time is it? I'm going to go ahead and go into some additional lessons. Yes, I am. Characterization. So, we're talking about analyzing a character, and we have a method to characterization. We know that the author gives us, the readers, pieces to the puzzle so that we can figure out the character's identity. What makes that character that character? It is the way that the author or writer reveals a character. So to create a round character, we just talked about round characters, we know that the author must develop a character in several different ways because round characters have more than one way. Yes, personality. You're so smart. All right, so there are 5 different ways that we can analyze a character so that we can understand them. We're going to use the STILL method. We're going to look at what they say, their speech, and that is the dialogue. We're going to look at their thoughts and their emotions. We're also going to look at their effects on others. We're going to look at their actions. What do they do? We're going to look at their appearance, their looks. So we're talking about speech. We're talking about what the character say, what comes from that character's own mouth. So again, we're going to look for dialogue from that character. Here is an example. He grabbed the man and yelled, "Give me your money." Thoughts and emotions. So we're talking about the character's private thoughts. This will be revealed through the narrator or through the narration. You see, Alice knew that she could have given money to the homeless man and felt bad about it. Well, what are her thoughts? Her thoughts are she could have gave the man some money and she felt bad. Now, we don't have any quotations around this, do we? No, we do not. This is the narrator telling the story, and the narrator is giving us insight. All right. Kim felt impatient with her sister for being late. Well, what does this tell us about Kim? That she's impatient, and she also likes to be on time. Her reason for being impatient was because her sister was late. Effects on others. So the writer reveals what characters in the story say or think about the characters. How do they make the other characters feel? The new girl in school seems very nice, said Jessica happily. Nathan is awesome at soccer, remarked the fan. He made 2 goals during the games. Well, how does Nathan and the new girl make the other people feel? Right. hmm Actions. So we are going to look at their actions. What do they do? What are their behaviors? In this case, the baby cried all night. Looks. How is this character being described? Their dress, their appearance. Here's an example. It was a tall boy with blonde hair and brown eyes. Or the woman was wearing a beautiful blue gown with a pearl necklace. His eyes were as cold as stone. What does that tell us about him? If his eyes are cold as stone, what does it say? All right. So we know when we use the STILL method to characterize our character, we're going to look at what they say, thoughts and emotions, effects on others, actions, looks, check for understanding. We can do that in class because I want to take you on to something else. Yes, it's one of these videos. So I want to show you all how to go to Craigmont website, which is CraigmontChiefs.org. You're going to go on the website. You're going to go to academics, teacher. You're going to find Miss Kenya Bond. Then you're going to scroll down. And then you see on this side we have resources. You're going to click the resources. And then what I need for you all to do is click and see, this is my resources. I put a lot of things up here for you. This right here, your DGP notes, this will help you out with parts of speech and your grammar that you're struggling with. This is a Lincoln Word PDF. It's going to help you when you're writing your sentences. Dr. Black sentence patterns is what we're going to be using next week. So you can go ahead and start taking a look at that. But I want you to go to the elements of a short story. You're going to click that. Your last notes, which will be due by, they'll be due by Thursday's class. I need for you to go in. I know you're looking at 18 pages. You don't have to use all 18 pages. What I want for you to do is go through. You're going to start right here with the 5 elements of fiction: plot, setting, character. You don't need to write anything about character because I'm going to give it to you. You already have it, points of view and theme. I want you to jot down all the notes that you need for right here. You know you need to understand plot. You need to write all this down as well. We've already talked about conflict. Unless you want to add to what you wrote, go ahead and write this down again. You need to know about climax. You need to write down these bullet points. Fall in action. You need that. Resolution. Then you're going to go to setting. You're going to write all this down. Because when you start annotating, I'm going to ask you, do you see any clues for the setting, the time, weather conditions, social conditions, mood, and atmosphere? We've already talked about the characters, but you can write this down if you need it. You need some additional help. Point of view, you definitely need that. We want to talk about how the story is narrated. You need all of this. And then we're going to talk about the theme. So you need all of this. So copy down all the notes from the first 2 pages. Again, you just go to CraigmontChiefs.org. You're going to go to academics, our teacher. You're going to click on Kenya Bond. From Kenya Bond, you're going to go to resources. From resources, you are going to, that's a plan. From resources, you're going to click on the elements of a short story. Once you do that, you're going to copy down all these pages. Guess what? You have 3 lessons in one. Alrighty, you guys have a good night. And yes, it's a lot of notes. See you in the morning.